There's something about winning, isn't there? When you win a game of football, you just want to keep playing games. So luckily we are. We're playing another game midweek, which is great in the League Cup, or the Carabao Cup against Bournemouth at London Stadium. To be honest with you, this is a bigger game, I think, than it kind of seems on paper. Do you know what I mean? It's obviously very early in the season. It's the first round of the Cup. And we've obviously got the champions, Man City, at the weekend. So it kind of feels like, in a way, it's sort of sandwiched in between, a victory over Crystal Palace, obviously playing Man City. And you'd be forgiven slightly if you think, okay, well, it's another game. Let's just try and see how we get on. But actually, let's get this right. The League Cups, or the domestic cups this year, the FA Cup and the League Cup, the Carabao Cup, are hugely important to West Ham. We've got no European football this year. I mean, it's something we've become quite used to. Obviously, we had 3 years running of European competition, winning a trophy as well in the second season we were in it in the Conference League. So it's understandable that during those seasons we kind of prioritised our European ventures. Do you know what I mean? They were the top priority for us, of course, along with our Premier League campaign. So it's understandable that we took our eyes slightly off the domestic cups. Of course, we want to do well in them, but they were always our priority. Well, we haven't got that this season. So it's really, really important that we take this seriously. And I really hope we do. I think we will. I'm not suggesting that West Ham or, Junior Lopetegui will be treating it with anything other than high importance. But really, for me, I've always felt that clubs like West Ham, well, if you're not one of the sort of the top chasing titles and chasing Champions Leagues, other clubs that haven't got those competitions, for me, the domestic cup should be like your Champions League. Do you know what I mean? You should treat them so much respect and go, let's really go for it. And I'm really hoping that is the case when it comes to playing Bournemouth. And let's be frank, this is not an easy fixture. Bournemouth, I've actually been impressed with them. I didn't do a preview for the season and do predictions. I don't tend to do that really on this channel, to be honest. But I did kind of, when I was chatting to sort of friends, etc., and family about who I suspected would struggle and who would do well, etc., I actually thought Bournemouth would struggle this season. I had this feeling in my gut. I just thought, well, I'm not convinced actually now with losing Solanke, but I actually think after watching them play Newcastle at the weekend, I'm really impressed. It feels like it feels like a club with a plan. And I really like them. And I think, like I was just saying about West Ham taking this competition really seriously, clubs like Bournemouth should be doing the same. You know what I mean? They should be looking at this thinking, this is the competition, we can go all the way. Let's go for it. Why not? They're not going to get relegated. Do you know what I mean? That's my point. So, well, I certainly don't think they will be anyway at this stage. They look good. They look too good for that. I think they were very unlucky. And I think this is a difficult draw for West Ham. I really do. Being a Premier League side anyway, it's not ideal. This is not an ideal fixture. But I think if West Ham put out our first team, really go for it, then I think we've got every chance of advancing. But it's not going to be an easy game, I don't think, at all. Iriola, their new manager, I've been so impressed with him as well. He really has impressed me with his style of football. As I say, I like their plan, that the age group they're getting the players in young, and Kirkes as well. I mean, that was a great sign of a player that we were really keen on. Kluivert they brought in. I've just been really, really impressed with him. Is it Evanilson, their new Brazilian striker? I thought he looked pretty sharp actually against Newcastle. I was quite impressed with him. I think he could be a decent player for Bournemouth. Obviously, losing Solanke is a big blow for them, but they look a good side. If they put out their first team, which I don't doubt they will, I'm sure that they will take this seriously. Then we're in for a game. They're no mugs. I think it's going to be a tough encounter for us. Going back quickly to the Bournemouth game against Newcastle as well, I thought they were really unlucky in that game. It's interesting because, like I was just saying about how I thought the Bournemouth would struggle this season. That was the game I was watching and thinking, let's see how Bournemouth fare here. This is going to be a tough game against Newcastle. If they're really outmatched across the pitch, and I can see them having a real tough season. But I've got to say, I thought they were the better side for the majority. Actually, I thought they played really well, Bournemouth, and deserved it. And they were robbed of that winner. It wasn't a handball. It came off his shoulder. I think it was really harsh. I really felt for them, and they will feel really aggrieved, obviously, coming away with just 1 point when they should have had 3. I think that's a shame. But, 2 draws from them, so they're unbeaten in the Premier League to start the season, so I'm sure they won't be too disappointed with that overall. But, you've got to feel sorry for them, haven't you? The fact that you were taking points taken away from you there when that was a clear goal, in my opinion. And I'm sure you'll join me with that. It was a bad decision. As I say, I just feel like they've got a plan, Bournemouth. Looking quite a shrewd club at the moment. They've done very well. I mean, for a club really that have, it's hard to, they could have been in the Premier League now for quite some time. I know they had their relegation and came back, but they've been in the top flight for the majority now for quite a few years. you kind of forget, that the size of the club and where they come from. When they first came up, everyone just sort of disregarded them. They're not going to survive, got no chance. But now they've done so well. So no, real soft spot for Bournemouth, and also that's where Mrs. is from. So I've got to big them up. You know what I mean? I'm not being paid to do this, honest. No, I am impressed with Bournemouth. They've done really well. So I think it's going to be a tough encounter for us. We're going to have to be ready for it, which I'm sure we will be, but it's going to be, I can't see this being a walkover, and far from it. Let's go on to West Ham, though. Edson Alvarez back in the squad, of course. He's back against Crystal Palace. He came on as a substitute, looking pretty sharp, actually. Looked okay, and it's great to see him back, isn't it? I just think as a player now, this is someone he's so vital to how we tick in that midfield. He just protects that back line as well. I think it's going to be a huge addition to our squad, him going forward. So I'm expecting him actually to play in this game, at least play some part. I mean, we've got to get his fitness levels up, so I wouldn't be surprised actually if he starts this. And as I've said before going to the team I want to see, and obviously the prediction, I do think that this is one of those that we've got to take seriously a cup. It's so important. Without any Europe, I've got no excuses. We haven't got that distraction now. Let's just go for it, because this is a great opportunity for West Ham. The players that we've got, look, we're not going to be competing to win the title and things like that. Obviously, domestic cups are really important. So I'm really hoping that is the case. I mean, I know that we interviews you've seen Lopetegui say that that's a priority for him. He wants to win silverware. Jared Bowen said it. So, I really hope they sort of match those words with what we see on the pitch. I want to see a real determined performance, regardless of the fact that we've got Man City at the weekend. Do you know what I mean? This should be a big priority for West Ham, and I really hope that's the case. I'm going to go for my team then, what I think we should be going for. I'd like you to do the same if you can, and also let us know what you think the scoreline's going to be. It's always tough, isn't it, early on in the season? It's you're sort of weighing clubs up. You don't really know where we are. Obviously, West Ham played against Villa. It wasn't overly impressive. We played right, but not great. And then we put in a pretty decent performance against Palace. So we really want to see build on that. As I say, I've been impressed with Bournemouth, but it's still so early for things to sort of settle down. But so I've gone with what I can in this one in terms of prediction. But this is my team. Right, I've gone for Fabianski in goal. I really don't like the whole cup goalkeeper thing. I've never subscribed to it. I always think you should just play your best goalkeeper regardless, right? I've always moaning about that. However, because of the fact that Fabianski is such a good goalkeeper as well, I mean, he is, he's not, I would say Areola is the better keeper, hence why he is our number one, but it's not by far. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if we're taking a big risk. Do you know what I mean? I feel like with Fabianski, you've got a safe pair of hands there. And I do actually think that he deserves it. And also as well, if there is an injury, do you know what I mean? He's ready to step in. So I do actually think it's worthwhile getting Fabianski involved. And also as well, he was pretty decent, wasn't he, over pre-season? And he's been great when he's been called upon even last season. So no, I actually do think for this one, Fabianski, but I do understand why people would still go with Areola. As I've said, I've always not really liked this whole cup goalkeeper thing, but I'm going to make the exceptions for this one. My back line, I'm going I've gone strong for this team. As I say, I think that West Ham should be going strong for this game. I think it's really important. I'm going for Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back. I was really impressive performance, wasn't it, from him against Crystal Palace? Him coming on, I thought he looked great, and what can you say? A huge upgrade for us. And I want him to get more match fit and get used to playing with his teammates. So great opportunity for him as well. So yeah, Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back for me. Todibo and Kilman are my centre backs. That they're going to be our main centre back partnership. I'm not having a go at Mavropanos. I'm far from it. He's been fantastic, but let's be honest, that's probably going to be their two main centre backs. That's the vision here. So this is the opportunity to get them playing. So I think that, I'll go to Todibo and Kilman. I want to see that relationship. I want to see how they play together, and I want to give them a game of doing that. So I think that's really important. I'm going to put Emerson at left back. As I said, I'm going for a strong team here. My midfield, I'm going for Edson Alvarez. He came on, he looked impressive for me. Everything's okay when he came on. So I want to see him playing. Thomas Souček I'm putting in the middle as well. I was thinking about Ward-Prowse. The reason I'm not going for Ward-Prowse is I think there's a chance he's going, and which is a shame. And also, it's a shame, I think, losing Ward-Prowse if he does go, of course. Because I do actually really like him, actually. I think he's been a pretty decent player for us. I know he's not set the world alight, but I think he's a pretty decent guy. He works hard, and I'd rather him stay. I don't think the club are actively looking to sell him. You know what I mean? They're not desperately trying to get rid of him, but if the right offer comes in, I think they will explore it. So my feeling is, if let's just say Southampton were going to offer, say, 20 million, 25 million for him, let's just say, right, I don't want him getting injured in this game. I think that would be we don't want that, because that could be an opportunity for West Ham to recoup some money there and then further invest it. So my feeling is stick with Thomas Souček, because I think Souček's certainly safe for staying at West Ham, because he's becoming quite a pivotal player, actually, isn't he, this season so far under Lopetegui. Midfield of Alvarez and Souček, and then I'm going to have Jared Bowen out on the right. I'm going to put Somerville out on the left. Of course, Somerville needs to be playing. He's already put up a social media post about his time is going to come, the kind of thing. And I don't want him to feel that he's made the mistake of coming here. We want him playing. So he needs that chance, because he's looked good when he's been called upon so far this season. So let's give him a start. I think it's really important. I think he will. Mohamed Kudus, I want to play through the middle. He doesn't really get that often enough. He's always put out on the wing. So I want to see him play through the middle. I think it'll be a good opportunity for him. And Fulgrog will be up front. Our big German, I think will be... I think he's going to be a great sign for West Ham, actually. I've been impressed with him. I thought he looked great against Palace, and I want to see him start this game. Good opportunity for him to get some more minutes under his belt. Hopefully, he can get on the score sheet as well, which would be great. I'm going to go for a West Ham win. I'm not, brimming with confidence of it. I think it's going to be a tough account, like I've said. But I think now, with the win that we've got on at the weekend against Palace, I think the momentum will be there for us. Being at home and sort of under the floodlights, yeah, I fancy us. I'm going to go for it. 2-0. Come on, you Irons.